I never thought I'd be the kind of person who ends up alone. Not because I didn't believe in love, I did. I just didn't think I'd have to learn how to survive it breaking. But I guess that's life, isn't it? You get knocked down, and if you're lucky, you learn how to get back up. Let me start at the beginning. Not the happy beginning. The one with birthday cakes and scraped knees and bedtime stories. I mean the real beginning. The one where everything went wrong. I was 13 when my mom got engaged to Ray. 5 months earlier, my dad had been arrested for manslaughter. One night at the bar where he worked, a man was found dead in the bathroom. My dad walked in right after, covered in blood, screaming for someone to call 911. He didn't do it. I knew that in my bones. But the cops didn't care. They saw blood, saw his face, and slapped the cuffs on. No questions. No investigation. Just, you're under arrest. I was there. I saw it happen. And I saw the way my mom changed after that. Like overnight, she stopped being my mom and started being someone else. Cold. Distant. Like she was already mourning someone who wasn't even gone. Then out of nowhere, Ray showed up. Tall, polished, always smiling like he had a secret. He brought flowers. Took her to dinner. Within a week, he was calling her babe. Within a month, he was sleeping in my dad's bed. And one day she looked at me and said, "Ray's your new dad now. The other one's a monster." I didn't say anything. I just stared at her. My own mother. And I realized she didn't know me anymore. Or maybe she didn't want to. At first, I wasn't sure what to believe. Was my dad guilty? I didn't think so. But Mom was so sure. So angry. So relieved. But when she told me they were engaged, 5 months after Dad went to prison, that's when I knew. Dad was innocent. And Ray? He was the reason he was in there. It started small. Ray getting too comfortable. Staring at me across the dinner table like I was something to be studied. Saying things like, "You're growing up so fast." Or "Such a pretty young woman now." Stuff that made my skin crawl. I told Mom once. Just once. "Ray creeps me out," I said. She rolled her eyes. "You're dramatic. He's just being nice." But that night, while Mom was asleep, Ray came into my room. He grabbed my wrist hard. Left fingerprints like bruises. Looked me dead in the eye and said, "You know what happens to girls who snitch?" I didn't sleep for days after that. I knew I couldn't trust my mom. So I kept quiet. But I started writing letters to my dad. Hid them in my textbooks, mailed them from my friend's house after school. He wrote back through the prison email system, to an account I made that Mom didn't know about. We were still connected. And that connection kept me sane. Then one Thursday I came home from school and found out Mom had changed my last name on all my school records, to Ray's. Didn't ask me. Didn't warn me. Just did it. "You'll thank me when you're older," she said. That night, Ray came into my room again. Said we were celebrating. Finally a real family. Sat on my bed. Put his hand on my thigh. Told me I should be grateful to have a dad who cared. I shoved him off. Locked myself in the bathroom until he left. After that I wrote to Dad. Told him everything. A few days later I got a letter back, not an email. A real letter. On paper. Some parts were smudged. Wet. I think he was crying when he wrote it. That almost broke me. But I held on. Because his birthday was coming up. I asked Mom if I could visit him. Just for a few minutes. "I know you don't like him," I said. "But it's his birthday. Please." She said no. Worse. She said we couldn't go because Ray had coincidentally gotten tickets to a car show. We were all going together. Adjoining hotel rooms. When I said I'd rather see my dad, Mom exploded. "He's a killer. You're not visiting a murderer." I said, "He's innocent. He's still my dad." That's when Ray hit me. Slapped me across the face. Mom didn't say a word. We went to the car show. That night while I was asleep, Ray came into my room again. He was drunk. And this time he didn't stop at my thigh. I've never felt so dirty. So used. So broken. I came home shattered. And it got worse. The next week Mom found the letters I'd been hiding from Dad. All of them. She burned them in the backyard. Then, as punishment, she took my bedroom door off the hinges. Said it was for monitoring. Ray took that as an open invitation. Started standing in the doorway at night. Watching me sleep. That was the breaking point. The next day, I snuck into the school library after hours. Sat at a computer and just poured everything out in an email to Dad. Didn't make sense. Just rambled. Didn't even know what I wanted, just needed to say it. 2 weeks later he replied. Long message. Said all the right things. Told me it was gonna be okay. But one line stuck out. "Did you check where I said?" I was confused. So I went back through every email he'd ever sent me. And that's when I found it. In one of the recent ones, he told me to go up to the attic. Behind the radiator. I remembered reading that email the day after I asked to visit him. I was so heartbroken I must have missed it. But I didn't forget it. I made a mental note. And I waited. A week later, Mom and Ray went out for dinner. I waited until I heard the car pull away, then grabbed a flashlight and climbed into the attic. Dust floated in the air. My hands were shaking. I moved the boxes near the radiator, and there it was, a plastic-wrapped journal. I opened it to the page he marked. The entry was dated weeks before his arrest. In my dad's handwriting it said, "It's been a few weeks since I caught Lisa and Ray sneaking off into the bar. I don't know how to confront her." I froze. My blood went cold. Then I heard a car pulling into the driveway. They were back early. I could hear the doors slam, Mom's heels clicking on the walkway. My heart pounded. I shoved the journal under my shirt and scrambled for the ladder. Too late. Ray's head appeared through the opening. His dark eyes locked onto mine. He climbed up slow, his broad shoulders barely fitting through. I backed up against the wall. The journal pressed against my stomach. He looked around, dust in the air, boxes moved. Then he asked, "What are you doing up here?" His voice was calm. Too calm. I said I was looking for an old stuffed animal. He didn't believe me. I could see it in the way his jaw tightened. He stepped closer. I could smell wine on his breath. "You're a terrible liar," he said. "Just like your father." Then he grabbed my arm and yanked me toward the ladder. I held the journal tight with my other hand. Mom was waiting at the bottom, arms crossed. "Why are you sneaking around like a thief?" she asked. Ray said I was hiding something, suggested they search my room. I panicked. "I just wanted my old teddy bear," I said. "I can't sleep without it since my door's gone." She rolled her eyes but seemed to buy it. That night, I hid the journal in my pillowcase and waited. The next day, I snuck into the school library, took photos of every page, uploaded them to a fake cloud account, deleted the originals. I knew I needed help, so I called Uncle Frank, my dad's best friend. Good man. Always had peppermints in his pocket. He listened, then said, "We're gonna fix this." Over the next few weeks we gathered proof. Security footage, witness statements, the journal, and then, Ray cracked. He came into my room one night, drunk, and started bragging about how he framed my dad, how he planted the knife, how he watched my dad get arrested like it was a show. I was recording, on my friend's phone, hidden in my pocket. He said it all, even how he planned to take care of Mom if she ever found out. And Mom did find out. She walked in mid-rant. He tried to lie, but she'd heard enough. She pulled a knife, told him to leave. He did, but not before threatening to ruin her if she called the cops. She was scared, but I showed her the recording. She listened, broke down, called the police. They found Ray, found the real murder weapon in his trunk. He confessed. My dad was released. We rebuilt. But even after all that, life still found a way to hurt me. Because years later, when I thought I was finally safe, when I thought I'd found love, it happened again. I got married. His name was Mark. We met in college. He was quiet, kind, studied engineering, had this soft laugh that made me feel calm. We dated for 2 years. Got married in a small ceremony by the lake. Just family and a few friends. I thought I'd finally found peace. For a while I did. We bought a little house. Got a dog. Talked about kids. But then things changed. He started working late. Said the project was stressful. Said he needed space. I believed him. But then I started noticing things. His phone was always face down. He'd leave the room when it rang. He stopped kissing me goodbye. And one night I found a receipt in his jacket pocket. Hotel. 2 nights ago. 1 room. 2 people. My stomach dropped. I didn't say anything. Not at first. I waited. Then one Saturday I told him I was going to my sister's. But I came back early. His car was in the driveway. The house was quiet. I walked upstairs. And I heard it. Laughter. From our bedroom. I opened the door. And there he was. In our bed. With her. Some woman I didn't even know. They both froze. Mark's face went white. I didn't scream. Didn't cry. Just turned and walked out. Drove to my dad's house. He took one look at me and said, "What happened?" I told him. He didn't say, "I told you so." Didn't say men are trash. He just hugged me and said, "You deserve better." And he was right. Because betrayal, it doesn't just come from monsters like Ray. Sometimes it comes from the person you thought would never hurt you. The person who promised to love you forever. And that kind of betrayal cuts deeper. Because with Ray, I never trusted him. I was always on guard. But with Mark, I let my guard down. I believed in us. And that made the fall so much harder. I moved out the next week. Didn't take much. Just my clothes, my books, the dog. Mark called. Left messages. Said it was a mistake. Said he loved me. But love doesn't do that. Love doesn't lie. Doesn't cheat. Doesn't break the one person who trusted them most. I filed for divorce. Didn't fight over the house. Didn't care about the money. I just wanted out. And you know what? I don't regret it. Because that pain, it reminded me of something important. I've survived worse. I've faced real evil. And I'm still here. So if a man can't be faithful, that's his problem, not mine. I started therapy after that. Talked about everything: Ray, my mom, my dad, Mark. The therapist said, "You've spent your life being tested, but you keep passing." I didn't feel strong, but I was. And slowly I started healing. I went back to school, got my degree in criminal justice. Now I work with families who've been wrongfully accused. Help them fight. Dad still checks in every Sunday. Calls it our thing. Frank's still around too. Brings peppermints like always. And my mom? She sent a card for my 18th. Just love, Mom. No return address. Kept it. Not because I forgive her, but because it's part of my story. Some bridges stay burned. And that's okay. I still haven't remarried. Don't know if I will. But I'm not lonely. Because I've got people who've earned my trust. People who stood by me when the world turned dark. And that's worth more than any ring. Sometimes I sit on the porch at night watching the fireflies. And I think about how far I've come. From a scared kid in an attic, clutching a journal like it was a lifeline, to a woman who survived betrayal, abuse, and loss, and still chose to believe in truth. I didn't win because I was lucky. I won because I fought. And sometimes that's all you can do. Fight for the truth. And hope someone listens. In my case, they finally did.